Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and I have a cool tier list idea here that I wanted to do. One of my favorite games is Overwatch, and another one of my favorite games is Dead by Daylight. So I thought, hey, why don't we try to combo the two into a tier list? So I'm going to go over all the Overwatch characters, and I want to put them in how terrifying they would be as a killer in the game. And so I'm going to try to rank them. We're going to put them in these ones right here. We got a horror level, scary, killer, maybe, never. And we try to keep them as even as possible. That's what I normally try to do with these tier lists. I think with the Overwatch characters, we know now, like, I think everything is perfect. So if we have 5 lanes, we'll have the perfect amount in every single one, if I'm not mistaken. So we're just going to jump into it. We're going to try to use their abilities to a certain extent and see where that would go. Obviously, some abilities are kind of like, because we want like scary horror levels. We just don't want like flat out murder, because there's some abilities that just murder you. Most abilities here to the average person, anyways. So we're just going to have to rank them. Next up is, or first up is Mercy, or not Mercy, Anna. Why am I saying Mercy? I think I looked at her at first and then just said it. So Mercy, God, I just literally said it again. Anna here has a sleep dart, a grenade, a lot of different options. I mean, if she could sleep you, you're trying to run away as a survivor, that would be pretty scary. I'm gonna put her maybe for the time being. I feel like there's still other characters that I think might be more scary, but she's definitely up on the list with some of her abilities to be, possibly as a chance. Symmetra with her turrets and her teleporting. The teleporting part would be pretty scary. The turrets would be annoying, like, but it's just like flat out kill you, so not really like, not really the whole like, oh, the horror and the chase and all that. So I'm gonna put her in maybe, but I feel like she's not she's not really built for that horror type thing. Mora is a scary character in the game. She'd probably definitely have killed some people anyways, and her life and death ability would be pretty good in the game. I put her up as a killer. I don't know if I would put her as completely scary, but I guess we'll see what space we have. Um, Teleporting and for like dashing and stuff like that could be pretty good. The ball could be pretty good. So I'm kind of almost talking myself to put her higher, but I feel like I'll safely put her in the middle, but have room to want to put her up or higher if we have space. Next up is Venture. Them going under the ground would be pretty scary. Popping back up, the drill would be pretty horrifying. It's like a moray, like they pull out the drill and drill inside of the person. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty scary. I think Venture could work. Next up is Mercy. I don't have any horror scary vibes with her. I mean, when you see a Mercy go crazy, pull out her gun and start firing away, it is pretty horrifying. But overall, I think it doesn't work. Same thing with Kiriko. I think she's kind of a sweetheart, kind of has a sweetheart face too. I don't think she would like kunai and the rush. Like there's some abilities that would be really good for killers, but I don't think Kyoko herself would be a good killer. Laurie has probably killed the most amount of people on here, which we have Widow on here, so that's kind of jarring. But even with her gun that heals and stuff like that, it's just I don't know. I don't see her being like a scary killer type. We'll put her in never. Sojourn, like with her robot legs, I mean, kind of could go maybe Terminator-ish like. So put maybe. Those that's horrifying if she can go on a dead spring chase after you. Junker Queen seems like that would be like the perfect skin for like Huntress. So like, why not like put her in here? Because like I feel like she would have the ability to throw the knife and do a lot of stuff. I think she'd be pretty scary. She might go a little bit lower if we get too full up at the top, but I think overall pretty scary. Ash just feels like long distance Death Slinger, so I guess she would definitely be a maybe in there. I just don't see necessarily like her having too much like she just shoots somebody and like they would just die. You kind of want to have like that going after somebody and chasing them and like making it very horrifying. Diva herself without her mech probably wouldn't be that bad. In the mech, I just she could definitely kill people. I just don't think it'd be necessarily scary. I put her in maybe. I feel like it's hard to see because you really want people to be like the whole package, that's scary and like all that, and it just doesn't work. May is one of those ones that sneakily could be in there because of her ice, like horrifyingly like freeze somebody and then like smash them out. I could see that being an ability that might be a little more horrifying compared to the rest of them. Tracer, I just blinking around. I mean, she would be fast, but I don't. Other than that, I don't think it would be too crazy. Baptiste, I think, is another one that just doesn't fit the killer mentality. Um, Bastion Singularity skin would be pretty cool. You know, they're both kind of robots. Bastion with his turret would be, nasty, but would he be scary? I don't really think so. I'll put him in maybe. Brig with the mace and all that. I definitely think she could be a killer, but I don't see her as a Dead by Daylight killer. Cassidy, a little bit with the rolling and the flashbang and stuff, that would be pretty scary, like the kind of like hinder a survivor. So I guess I'll put him up a little bit higher because the bottom is a little full. I think he's just kind of getting that proxy bump because the bottom's a little bit fuller than what we need it to be. Doomfist would be horrifying the way he jumps and punches and stuff. He'd be like Wesker, but like the ability to jump all over the place. I'd put him in the horror levels. I think like he kind of fits a killer mentality of like what would be up there towards the top. Echo with her ability, like she could throw the lava and like it would hurt you and stuff. That could low key start getting horrifying and like maybe some like glitches in her speak to make it even scarier. Then she can copy a survivor. I could see the Echo being a pretty good DVD killer. Genji with his ability to like deflect stuff and being able to jump over and throw the things. I think he definitely could fit into some type of killer thing. Um, he's kind of horrifying when you hear him ult behind you anyway. So in any game, so I could see it. Hanzo would with the arrows be kind of an interesting one. Like if you can get a lot of distance, kind of like a huntress with throwing your hatchets, but you just like shoot an arrow across. There's a vision there. I'm gonna put him in maybe. I think that's my last maybe spot. Next up is Junkrat. Junkrat's kind of a crackhead, but I don't really see him being too crazy. But he has the traps and stuff, so he's kind of similar to Trapper, but also with mines. Um, I think I talked into him being a lot more scary with the mines also in that. Lightweaver honestly doesn't feel too crazy. Like it would be that scary. Put him in the never. Lucio, he's got the bump and the wall ride. I just don't see as horrifying. I think I'll move Anna up a little bit, and I'll put Lucio right here in the maybe. I just feel like his abilities in general don't really scream like jump scare. Mulga with his run ability going after you if he like hits you and then knocked you to the ground instantly or stunned you, that'd be pretty crazy. He doesn't even need to use those big guns to a certain extent. I'll put him in scary. I think it'd work. Farah, like a killer that could fly above the map and look and then land in your spot would actually be kind of a crazy idea. Um, I could see the vision of putting her in the killer's thing. Um, yeah. Ramatra, when he like ults and runs at you, that would be horrifying. It'd be like basically Nemesis. So I could see Ramatra being up in there because like a lot of the horror ones are easy when they kind of match a killer that's already in there and that just has extra stuff. But that would be basically he'd be Nemesis, but like with an area effect. Reaper, where he could teleport behind you, like every other teleported killer, would be horrifying. I'll put him up in the horror levels. He doesn't even need to change his outfit; it already works perfectly. Reinhardt is an interesting one because he's so big. Like I guess the closest way to feel is like how the knight is, but like he's like a big fin of metal that kind of just clumps around. But the knight has like minions to help, and Reinhardt his fire strike would be pretty good, and his ult, but I don't see much more than that. So I'm gonna put him in. I could see being the killer, but not up at the top. Um, when I think of killers, I definitely think Hog is would be perfect. He literally has a hook chain. Like if he could pull you out of stuff, even if it was like lockers or just running away, if he could get you from a long distance to pull you in, kind of like Deathslinger's gun. So like, there's a lot of mechanics that are already in the game. So I could put him up at the very top. Sigma, I don't know. I don't really see anything too crazy with Sigma translating to a killer in Dead by Daylight. I think I'll move Farah up, and I'll move May up a little bit to scary. I'll put Sigma here. I feel like it's possible he's got the balls, no pun intended, and but I don't think it's like high up in that list. Next up is Soldier. Um, again, he's scary, but I don't think he would be really a Dead by Daylight fit. Sombra, who can go invisible like Blythe, or not Blythe, like Bing Bong, and then be able to like hack. If you could hack the generators and stuff, I could see the vision of it being scary. Looks like I actually do got one more spot and all that. Torbjorn with his turrets and monitoring, he'd be like Skull Merchant, but a little deadlier. I'll put him on the killer side. Widow is interesting because Widow like would be great with sniping, but like if you could just snipe somebody across the map, then I don't know how the like how that works in Dead by Daylight. I'll put her maybe. I just don't feel like it's like the top choice, but it could work. Next up is Winton. Him and his alt is horrifying. Like he just ran after it, being kind of like an Oni alt, or like Oni's like when he gathers enough blood. I can see that. I'm gonna put him on horror levels. I think it's valid enough. Hamster ball. To be honest, I wouldn't be really scared of hamster ball. Um, let's see. Let's move Mora up. Let's move. Let's move Bastion up a little bit. Move Hamster Ball to a maybe. I should put Hamster Ball on a no. I don't know. I don't know, a Hamster Ball chasing after you just does not seem that scary. Zarya's built would be pretty scary, but other than just like brute strength, I don't think there's not much else. We'll move Junkrat up to the top. We'll move Zarya up to scary because of the strength. And I think that's pretty solid right there. And we got one left with Zenyatta. Zenyatta just seems like he's just too good of a guy. I can see him definitely killing some people with like his abilities and stuff, but I don't know if anything would actually like necessarily like I don't like it wouldn't be scary. You would just be throwing a bunch of balls at you. Maybe like similar to Trickster's knives, but way less scary. I'll put him in maybe. I think that's pretty solid. That's my list. What do you think would be the best Dead by Daylight killer character, Overwatch character to be a Dead by Daylight killer? I think out of these people, if I had to really just pick one and it was only one, I think I'd be more terrified of Roadhog the most because that hook being able to pull you would be very hard to go against. And he also has that trap. So if you could throw both of those down and really get you, I think in a Dead by Daylight like universe and mode, I think that would end up being pretty OP. But tell me what you guys think, and if there's any other games you want to combo, I like that idea, and I'm gonna maybe try to do it with some other games. But until next time, bye guys.